Next to listen to a presentation on the product. And to do that, I'm going to ask a lady to come up here. Now, when I say passion, this lady is very, very passionate. She's a very successful executive with a multi-billion-dollar company. And being at the top of the food chain, if you want, she realized it's not fulfilling enough. And when somebody introduced Max to her, she has cut that job down to spend half of the time with us, and you are going to learn a lot from Miss Ann Turnbull. Here you go, darling.
Wow, thank you. I love that introduction. Top of the food chain. Wow, who knew? Well, you know what? I have never been in network marketing before, and I've always been in the corporate world. And I've made great money in the corporate world. But as Spencer said, I started to think, is this all there is for the next 20 years? And I thought, oh my gosh, I hope not. I don't really see myself continuing on just climbing the corporate ladder for the next 20 years. And so when a friend introduced me to Max, I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what the product was, but I trusted her. And I said, absolutely, I'm looking for something. And since that time, I have become so passionate about our products, about what we have to offer. And I know that my purpose in life is to go around the world as far and as fast as I can to spread the word about what we have, because it's too important not to. You know, in my family, and I'm sure in many of your families, we have health challenges. We have health challenges that have happened far too young, that don't feel fair. And I'm sure that if you think about your friends, your family, you probably have those experiences as well. And it's not right. You know, you heard Spencer talk about our billionaire businessmen, our incredible scientists, our doctors, our inventors. They have come together because they believe there are two issues in today's world that they can help solve. The first is our declining health. You know, there are over 80,000 chemicals and toxins that we're breathing in our environment every day. And we have 1,000 new chemicals and toxins that are released into our environment every year. So unless you're living in a bubble, you're exposed to things that are not healthy. And you know, I looked up some stats today because I'm always interested. You know, the stats for health are going the wrong way. You know, 1 in 2.5 people are going to get cancer. 1 in 4 people are affected by diabetes. 1 in 88 kids are diagnosed with autism. Those rates are increasing at alarming rates. You know, 1 in 10 kids are diagnosed with ADHD. 1 in 5 boys, if you're a boy, holy smokes, pretty good chance. Those things are not good. They're not healthy. And so we have to help stop that. The other issue that we can help solve for is our financial crisis. You know, you hear about whole countries that are going bankrupt, but bring it closer to home. Here in Canada, and it's very similar in the US, we owe $1.65 for every dollar of income that we make. Do you think that's a good recipe? No, I don't think so. You know, and another stat I heard, which, you know, it always alarms me, and I can picture it because, you know, I know so many people who are in that situation, but people between the ages of 55 and 65, guess how much they have saved up for retirement? About $55,000 is the average amount. That is not enough, people, right? You need a lot more than that. You need about 10 times that amount. So where is someone who's 60 years old going to find $500,000? They could win the lottery, sure they could, but the odds of that are pretty slim. I think I looked that up once. It was maybe 1 in 10 million, 1 in 20 million. You know, that's not a big opportunity either. So there's two issues that we can help solve for, and we can do that with one miracle molecule called glutathione. Now, I always like to ask this question, and there are more and more hands that go up. But before you were ever introduced to Max, how many here in the room had ever heard the word glutathione? Okay, so there's a handful, but it's a pretty small handful. I'd never heard of it. My doctor, you know, he kind of said, well, maybe I remember something about that, but he really didn't know. A lot of people have never heard the word glutathione before, but it is going to become more and more known because it is so important. And you know, if you looked up in the online journal of medicine, all of the scientific articles, 20 million scientific articles in pubmed.gov, and you looked up, for example, vitamin C. Well, vitamin C, everyone's heard of, we all take it, we all know it's good for us. You would find about 48,000 articles on vitamin C. Okay, great. That means there are 48,000 scientific publications about the benefits of vitamin C. If you looked up glutathione, you would find over 106,000 articles on glutathione, scientific articles. It is going to become very well known. Dr. Oz did a show on glutathione, and he called it the most powerful antioxidant you've never heard of. So glutathione, what the heck is it? Well, first of all, we produce it in our bodies. We produce it in our cells. We produce it in every single one of the cells in our bodies, and every day we create 40 billion new cells. That's a lot of cells. And they all need glutathione. Now, so we produce it in our cells, and here's what it does. It is our body's most powerful antioxidant. So vitamin C is a good antioxidant, and as I said, we take vitamin C, but glutathione is tens of thousands of times more powerful than vitamin C in terms of being an antioxidant and what it does for your cells. It is a detoxifier. It helps our body gets rid of all of those toxins that I talked about that we're breathing into the environment and that we need to get out of our body in order to stay healthy. It helps with our immune system. Glutathione also helps with cellular inflammation. And medical professionals will agree. It's pretty common knowledge now that the root of disease and health issues comes from cellular inflammation. And so if you can do something to help reduce that cellular inflammation, that is very good news. And glutathione helps with oxidative stress. So it's something we produce ourselves naturally. It does amazing things. It is incredibly powerful. And when we have lots of it, we have great benefits. We get better energy. We get better sleep. Our skin looks better. We can even handle stress better. That's good. Does anyone here have any stress? Every now and again, right? Maybe stress finding a parking spot in the lot this morning, you know. We all have stress every day, of course we do. But we can handle it better when we have lots of glutathione. We get better mental focus and clarity, right? You know, when people start to age, do you ever get that? You ever hear people talking about, oh, I can't remember names, oh, I'm searching for a word, I don't think as clearly. Well, when you have lots of glutathione, you can think better. You feel clearer. So there's so many great benefits that happen when you have a lot of glutathione. So, you know, we've heard that it's important. It's in every one of the cells in our bodies. And when we have lots of it, good things happen. But here's the bad news. Most of us don't have enough glutathione. Because once we hit the age of 20, and I know we have some young people here with us today, but I would argue even before you hit the age of 20, your glutathione levels start to go downhill. And they start to go downhill, first of all, just because of aging. Fine. But who here got 8 hours of sleep last night? No, I'm hearing laugh. You know, I hear one hand go up. Well, for heaven's sakes, most of us don't get 8 hours of sleep. So when you don't have enough sleep, when you're exposed to sunlight, when you don't eat perfectly, maybe when you have a glass of wine, even when you exercise strenuously, the first 20 minutes you're losing 40% of your glutathione. When you're on medications, that's helping to decrease your glutathione. There are so many things that help to decrease glutathione, but we actually don't even produce the same amount as we age. So by the time you hit 40 or 50, you're kind of flying on half-mast for most of us, right? You really don't have enough to do all the things that you need to do. And when you don't have enough glutathione, here's what happens. Your cells are open to damage. And when your cells get damaged, they can start to reproduce. You know, I talked about we create 40 billion new cells every day. Well, when your cells are damaged, they're going to recreate in a damaged way. And that's when we start to have disease. So you name a disease, almost every disease you can think of, cancer, Alzheimer's, diabetes, autism, arthritis, MS, Parkinson's, you name a disease, pretty much all of them have low glutathione levels associated. So it's really important that we keep our cells healthy and we boost our glutathione levels. And the challenge is, you say, okay, well, great, I get it, it's important. I'm going to, you know, trot myself off to GNC and buy some glutathione pills. And you could do that. But it's not going to do any good. So don't waste your money. Because glutathione pills cannot get through the digestive tract, cannot get into the body, and will not do any good. And I work with integrative health professionals who will treat with intravenous glutathione, and that can absolutely do some good. But you're in the chair for a couple of hours with an IV hooked up, you're spending about $100 a pop, and you're probably there for 3 times a week. So for most of us, it's not very convenient, not very affordable, right? And so it's a challenge. What can we do? And here's what I love about our company. Our scientists, after 25 years of research, have cracked the code on glutathione. We have figured out how to help the body produce more of its own glutathione. And our scientists have 38 patents and patents pending, 25 years of research, and over 20 clinical studies that show that we can help the body improve glutathione. You know, I always like to say, it's like we have the rights to water, and we are the only ones who can sell it on the planet because everybody needs glutathione. And we are the ones that have the most advanced way to improve glutathione on the planet. And we are so far advanced from anyone else in terms of what they're doing in glutathione that we will remain ahead of that marketplace for years and years and years to come. And so think about what an incredible opportunity that is, not only to help people with their health, but as a business opportunity. You know, I've been in the corporate world for a long time. I've done great things in the corporate world, but for me, I know that I have an opportunity to impact people all over the world, and I have an opportunity to do that and have a financial benefit that will be much bigger than anything I could ever have done corporately. So our flagship product is Cellgevity, and it is powered by something called ribosine. Ribosine is what our scientists developed after their 25 years of research. It is a patented nutrient. And ribosine is a combination of ribose and cysteine. Now the issue with glutathione, and the reason scientists have been studying it all over the world to try and figure out a way to help your body produce more of it, is cysteine is the molecule that your body needs to produce glutathione. It's one of 3, but it's the hardest thing to get into your body. And cysteine is so delicate that there's never really been a way to get it into the body. And what our scientists figured out a way to do is to combine ribose, which is what your body uses to produce energy, with cysteine, which is what your body uses to produce glutathione, in a way that protects the very delicate cysteine molecule, gets it into the body, into the cells. The ribose goes off to make energy, and the cysteine goes off to make glutathione. And what's so neat about that is that when you produce energy in your body, right? Think of your body like a car. When you want to make your car go, you have to put gas in it, right? So you put gas in your car, the car goes, you put energy in your body goes, but when your car is going, you're creating exhaust fumes, right? Out into the environment. You're damaging the environment with the exhaust fumes. Well, when your body is going, you're actually creating exhaust fumes or free radicals that are damaging your cells. And so glutathione cleans those up. So it's a very, very remarkable and very elegant solution to helping your body produce more glutathione, because you are actually creating energy at the same time as you're creating glutathione. Now, Cellgevity has a therapeutic dose of ribosine in it, but it also has 11 other synergistic ingredients that are all known to have wonderful healing effects. They help with inflammation, they help with antioxidants, they help with, there are so many things that these ingredients help with, and it's interesting because talking to nutritionists or naturopaths or people who are very experienced in natural health, they'll say, oh my gosh, well, I send my patients and my clients to go get turmeric or milk thistle or broccoli seed extract or resveratrol. I send them to go get those things separately. And they have to pay for each of those things separately. And wow, you guys have put everything together in one supplement? That's amazing. And so we have a supplement in Celgevity that just does remarkable things. And one of the things that I love as well about our company is that with Max supplements, if people take vitamin C, which they know is good for them, that's great, but they don't necessarily feel something when they put it into their body. Well, with Celgevity and our other formulations, most people are going to feel a difference. They will actually start to feel things like better energy, better sleep, better mental focus, reduced aches and pains. I had a friend who started on Celgevity. He hadn't had a good night's sleep in 20 years. And for the first time in 20 years, he was getting a good night's sleep. People will feel something and they will notice something, sometimes within the first week. Sometimes it might take several weeks, but typically people will feel something, which is amazing. And what our products do, we have to be very careful because our products do not treat, cure, or prevent any disease. What our products do is they help the body produce more glutathione, and when our bodies produce more glutathione, incredible things happen. I was with Mike and others in Kingston this week, and we met a woman, and she had a terrible liver condition. She's actually waiting for a transplant. And she was taking medication to go to the bathroom. She couldn't go to the bathroom without it. She was having fluid coming into her legs. She'd have to go to the hospital for 6 days to get her legs drained. And this had happened twice. The doctors really don't even know if she'll make it until the liver transplant. And she started on Celgevity for a week. And remember, all she's doing is boosting her glutathione levels. Well, in the 5 days, she had not had to take medication. She was able to go to the bathroom. The fluid started to come up in her legs. It went back down on its own. She didn't have to go to the hospital. She's still waiting for a liver transplant. Her liver disease is not cured. But imagine her quality of life. Imagine if that's the one thing that any one of us did in our business, that's enough. That's enough. And I would encourage all of you to talk to people around the room because there are dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of these stories sitting here in this room with Max associates and people who have experienced it themselves. And we get to experience that every day. And it is a joy and a blessing. It's just remarkable. I used to sell mortgages and credit cards for a living. I still do on the side. But boy, this, whole different story. A whole different story. I get to make a difference in the world, which is amazing. So Celgevity is our flagship product. And what I usually do, just to make it simple, is when someone's going to start off with one of our products, I will say start off with Celgevity. Let's see how you do on it. Now, because each of us are different, we don't know what's going to happen. Try it and see. We have 2 other formulations that help boost our glutathione. And remember that our products are not glutathione. They help boost our body's production of glutathione. So we have 2 other formulations. We have Max GXL, which was our original formulation. It is simply a different formulation than the ribosine-based formula. It also works beautifully. We've had this product in the market for 6 years. It does amazing things. And sometimes if someone doesn't respond as well to Celgevity, I'll try them on Max GXL. Some people work better with one, better with another, but don't make it complicated. Start with one. So this is a great formulation. And then we also have Max 1. And Max 1 is, it's a great product as well. It is pure ribosine. So remember what I told you about Celgevity? It's got the 11 other synergistic ingredients. Well, sometimes people will have a sensitivity. They might have a sensitivity or an allergy to maybe broccoli seed or vitamin C, or for some reason it just doesn't agree with them. Well, that's fine. If they're super, super sensitive, then we can start them off with Max 1. I have a lady in my team, a wonderful lady who works in the front lines of autism. She's worked with autism for 25 years. And when she works with families with autism, sometimes if the person is very, very sensitive, she'll start them off with Max 1 just to kind of get their glutathione levels boosted without any kind of sensitivity potential problems, and then see how they do, and then maybe try them on something else. So we have 3 formulations that all help to boost glutathione. And then we have 2 other products, and that's another great thing about our company. You know, we don't have 500 items, 500 pieces in the catalog we have to figure out. You know, I'm working on a holistic nutrition trade show that I'm doing with one of my partners, and we were looking at the catalog of suppliers, exhibitors who were going to be there, and we were writing up our little blurb. And I said to her, I said, Pat, I said, my gosh, look at all of these supplement companies, and they all have hundreds and hundreds of products. I said, how does anyone figure out what they should be doing? How does a nutritionist or a healthcare provider wade through all of the options that are out there to figure out what to do? I said, you know what? I said, we have one thing. We have one thing to talk about. We boost glutathione, and it's important. It helps with just about everything. She said, you know what, Anne, you're right. That is absolutely what we have, and that is our differentiation. That is something that, you know, people don't have to worry, well, which of these 500 products? No. One thing, boost your glutathione, see how you do. So that is a huge benefit as well. So our other 2 products, we have Max N-Fuse, which is a little powder packet of vitamins, minerals, and additional antioxidants, and it really helps the Cellgevity or one of our other glutathione boosting products to work better. It's something I take every day. I just know that I'm doing great things for my body, and I get that little extra boost. So that's something that you would take every day. And then the last product in our nutritional lineup is Max ATP. And Max ATP, I know we have some athletes with us here today, and it is an incredible, incredible formulation. It, again, is ribosine powered, and you remember that ribosine helps with energy, and it helps with glutathione, and ATP is a performance drink. So I wouldn't call it an energy drink, I would call it a performance drink. For athletes, they would take it 15, 20 minutes before exercising or training or competing, and they get better endurance, better mental focus. If you're a sprinter, I have a young man who is training for the Olympics right now, and his goal is to get his time into the 9-second range, because there's only ever been 3 Canadians who have ever met that 9-second range, and he shaved 3/10 off his time last year. He was on Cellgevity and ATP last year, and he won 5 out of his 6 races, compared to the year before where he only won 2 out of his 6 races. And he will not race without ATP and Cellgevity. And you know, you have that mental focus. If you're doing a sprint, you have to be ready to go on the blocks. And I know we've got some people here with us who would know that. You know, I'm not an athlete. I've never done a 100-meter sprint. I've got to tell you that. But you know, you need that mental focus. You need that speed, and the recovery time. So for athletes who are training hard, they get recovery time in about half the time. The other thing that I use ATP for is if I'm having a really long day, and I know that I have to go out in the evening, it's fantastic. Or if you're studying or creating or writing, if you take an ATP, your mental focus, your energy, your alertness is just so razor sharp. So that is an amazing product that you take on an as-needed basis. So that's our full nutritional lineup, very, very simple. And then our last product line is Visible Solutions. Now this is a really fun product line, because Visible Solutions is our skincare line. And you know, when you start on our nutritional supplements, I know that many of us like to take a photo before we start of ourselves, of our face. Because I will tell you that 6 months or a year down the road, you will look younger. And you should take a photo. If you haven't started yet, take a photo now, and then take a photo in 6 months or a year from now and see the difference. And that's because we're helping with our cellular health, and our skin is a big organ with a lot of cells, right? So we're gonna look, feel better, younger. But we also have a skincare line, which helps from the outside in. And Visible Solutions is so fun because it is aloe-based, there's no water in it, and when you go to your cupboard at home, or you go into a drugstore, or you go into, you know, a spa, and you look at almost any skincare product, you're going to see the first ingredient is water. Our skincare line, Visible Solutions, has no water in it. It is a very, very high grade of aloe. It's a wonderful product. When you try it, if you haven't done that, please do it today. When you try it on one hand versus the other, you will see and feel a difference the very first time you use it. And so it's a terrific product to demonstrate. It's a lot of fun. And with that, my part of the presentation is over.